Hello everybody. I have another game for you guys here. It's going to be a 1 versus 1 on Simois, and I'm going to get this game started from the 5-second mark, starting in 3, 2, 1, play. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. So our two players here, starting in the north, will be FnPSickness. I'm not sure what FnP stands for. I know it is a clan tag. I tried to find it out for our guys here, but I could not. And our player here in the southern position will be his clanmate, FnPdestroyer, playing as our Americans. And remember, this is a 2.6 matchup, so our beta changes are not here with us today. Oh man. Not here with us today, excuse me. And not here with us today, and where was I? Kind of lost my train of thought there. Yes, the levels of these two players actually are level 15 and 16, so both are pretty high level players. Think I got a pretty good game here. Both players are going to open up with 2 Pioneer squads and 2 Engineer squads, and actually going to open up MG first from Sickness. And Destroyer is, of course, going to open up with a Rifle squad, I believe. I can't see what he's building. I would assume so, and yes, it is a Rifle squad, so both popping out at the same time. The question is, can this Rifle squad get the jump on this MG? Or if the MG can suppress this Rifle squad, then it's pretty much over from there. Not much you can do because there's so little squads on the field, and it's just a straight up you win, I lose fight. And Pioneer Squad is going to scout ahead for that MG, so great move there. Also going to cap this low munitions point, and the MG, let's see where he's going to place that. The Rifle Squad is moving in now, so he knows where the Rifle Squad is at. Where's this MG going to set up? I'm guessing right here behind this green cover. No, actually going to set up slightly behind that church. I'm not sure. Yeah, oh, he actually does have an angle onto that. Oh no, losing the Pioneer Squad right off the bat. That sucks. Retreating it, getting a little too greedy there. Manages to cap that +5 munitions, but not worth it. He does get the suppression on the Rifle squad, but they can happily walk behind that church, crawl behind that church and building, get out of the line of fire, and he wisely actually counters that, going into the MG, and should be able to suppress this Rifle squad. I would assume so. They are in the road, so they're going to take lots of damage here. He's probably going to have to retreat, so at least he manages to force one Rifle squad. Not a total loss there. But our US player does still come up on top. Up here in the north, MG going to fire onto that Engineer squad. So he does manage to decap that fuel point. The fuel will always is always for teching, so it's going to delay a little bit of teching for our Vermont player. Not too much, but it looks like he doesn't have any real squads to cap. He can cap with that MG, but because he only has one one unsupported MG up here in the middle, it's not going to do too much, so he needs that second MG out in the middle as soon as possible, and then eventually recap this +10 fuel. And I see what he's doing here. Built his replacement Pioneer squad to recap that +10 fuel, and let's see how he decides to play this out. Actually, 3 MGs on the field, so very heavy MG play. I would assume, I would like, in my opinion, to get a bike out to scout ahead for these MGs, and that would also give them the extra range they have for the bike to scout, for them to give them the sight, and then the MG can fire onto them. But let's see how they do. Actually, it looks like Destroyer is going to go from the south and try to do a flank here. And now I can kind of see what Sickness has been doing. He managed to pin his clanmate Destroyer into his base with his double MG play here. So he really doesn't have any choice but to go south, and he's obviously going to predict that if that's his strategy, and placing the MG here into that building. But really, if Destroyer is prepared for that, if he can kind of predict that, yeah, my opponent has probably done this before, I'm going to spread out my rifles, which he is doing right now. One will take suppression, there's nothing you can do about that, but that's what you want, and then allow his other rifle squad to do the initial flanking. But he's actually going to send one over here to help support the Engineer squad. Oh, unfortunately going to have to retreat one rifle squad. Was trying to sneak across here, but it does get suppressed by that other MG, and I see what he's trying to do, flank this MG squad, but it wouldn't have done any good anyway, because this MG can cover this right side, and this other MG over here is covering that bridge choke point. And you can see the rifle squad looks, he's trying to go for a counter cutoff but he unfortunately is pushed away by that Volksgrenadier squad in green cover. And you can see a destroyer is right now cut off from those plus 16 munitions, and that's a lot of munitions. And our Wehrmacht player isn't really cut off from too much. Actually doesn't have a plus 16 munitions for himself. So really the US player has made up for it by capping his opponents over here on the right side. And we have quite a bit of an engagement here. MG's actually facing, barely facing the right way. So this is probably on purpose. Suppress that rifle squad and then prevent any other flanking in here, that any other squads that decide to join the fight. So it is in green cover. We're going to take minimal damage, but over time, you know, there's not much you can do. Going to try to flank with this engineer squad, but you should be able to see that. I'm pretty sure he saw the engineer squad kind of loop around there, and his Volksgrenadier squad should focus fire that engineer squad, and they do easily suppress engineer squads. It does have the flamethrower upgrade, so you need to be very, very careful. I don't think he's paying attention. I don't see, he's probably busy microing up here in the north, readjusting his MGs from that flanking rifle squad. He does manage to catch the engineer squad before it does the flank, and the MG has already repositioned itself, so the engineer squad is kind of in a tight spot, hiding behind that bush, but unfortunately peeks out just a little bit too much and will get suppressed, so that engineer squad will probably have to retreat, and it does. Going back here into the middle, the rifle squad getting a flank, one MG, actually two MGs. I think, I don't see that MG. Oh, and a grenade going off. Manages to take it down to very low health, killing one guy. He may lose this MG. He needs to set this rifle squad right here. The MG's trying to readjust, but unfortunately, oh no, actually retreats it. Loses that MG, so great victory for our US player. Managing to take out the MG, which is giving him so much trouble, and dislodging that defensive contain. Now he's free to cap, and he is on the move here. All three rifle squads pretty much fully health, one with only one guy lost. So now he can happily cap all, reclaim all this, reconnect his plus 16 munitions and whatnot. There's only one Volksgrenadier squad. He knows there is a push coming in from his opponent, and he's just going to sit it right there in the yellow cover. Want to have that advantage, that positional advantage. But unfortunately, they get out of the yellow cover just a slight bit, trying to reposition them. And the rifle squad has closed in the distance. Grenade going off, and he retreats it. Good retreat there, but unfortunately the Volksgrenadier squad had to go around there and kills off two guys. So let's check the teching for both our players here. Really no teching just yet, just investing so heavily in the tier 1, hasn't managed to find that window to tech up. And gonna check our US player here. Actually just now getting a supply yard. Going to do a quick time synchronization. Looks like skirmish phase was just completed for sickness, so we may see something go down here. And as I said, time synchronization, we are at the 7:52, 53, 54, 55. And looks like the map control kind of evening out here. It looks very symmetrical. Wehrmacht player, going to favor the Wehrmacht player just a little bit here in the middle. It looks like an MG here. He does spot the MG just in time. Turns around his rifle squad. Turns the rifle squad around behind that building, so they will not take fire from that MG. He can see the rifle squad, but only because of that +5 munitions. But he will not be able to hit it. Actually, more flanking going on here. So lots of flanking. He's been managing to find these windows, and I heard a mine going off. Ouch. And as I said, the flanking's been pretty good so far. Engineer squad unfortunately getting suppressed, and now the rifle squad spots that quickly. Nice reaction time there. Needs to flank it instantly before that MG manages to set up. However, there's a Volksgrenadier squad here. Gonna throw a grenade. Actually, let's see what it does. Oh, it takes out one guy. However, it's just a little bit off center there. Kind of in between these two squads. It would really nice to see it land directly on the MG, which have been great. MG quickly repositioned itself to counter this rifle squad, but is so low on health, it's not even going to stay there to fight. Our Wehrmacht player, actually coming out on top actually. So with only two Volksgrenadier squads, and actually 3 and 2 MGs, so he's in still a pretty good position, probably a better position if he had that other MG that he lost earlier. And we do have tier 2 coming out for sickness. It's going to be the Craig Barracks, a Grenadier squad coming out for him. So I wonder if we're going to see the defensive doctrine here. A good placement for our medic bunker would be right here behind that hedgerow where that Volksgrenadier squad is walking right now. Or, well, my touch just blinked and it totally just throws me off here. And it looks like we may see another grenade going off. And yes, we do. The MG kills one guy, good chunk of his health gone. But that, unfortunately, he's going to try to dance around this building and see if he can pull it off. Volksgrenadier squad kind of juking that Volksgrenadier squad. Will he throw another grenade? I know there's a cooldown on that, of course. Manages to take out the MG. So coming out there on top, the rifle squad getting away safely, needs to stop that rifle squad, get them behind that yellow cover, because there's just a lot of firepower here for one rifle squad to deal with. We may try to go in that building and keep these squads here as long as possible. And yes, we do have inspired assault, so we do not have defensive doctrine. We actually have the oh, I don't remember the name, but that is the one with a tiger tank and whatnot, I believe so. If I am wrong, correct me, or I'll probably find out later into the game. So we do have the M8 armored car. Do we have a counter for that? No, actually, we actually there is one on the way. Sickness on top of that does have his Grenadier squad getting that Panzer, but he really needs to protect this Grenadier squad, because if he loses that, this M8 is going to go to town on all of these squads here. Both Grenadier squads can use the Panzerfaust ability, but it's just such a munitions drain. It's more of a soft counter, not really viable. Better against jeeps and whatnot. He is at 83 munitions plus 48 munitions income, so that's pretty good income. Having 3 munitions here, 2 plus 10, and gonna go over to the fighting here on the left side. Gonna shoot away this one Volksgrenadier squad. VPs are 424 to 456, and so that looks pretty even. A pretty even fight so far. Pretty entertaining here, and we can see the Panzerfaust, Panzer Schreck gonna do its thing against this M8. However, the M8 is so quick, it's just going to dance around this church and eventually kill this MG. I don't see any reinforcements just yet on the minimap from our Wehrmacht player. Really, just go into that church. And yes, he does. Go into that church so they don't have to run around this church, play rosy-dozy duck, duck, goose with that M8. So that will officially shoo that M8 away. But the M8 has gun unharmed, and we actually have a second Panzer squad over here. Going to target down the M8. However, I don't think it's going to be able to do too much. May get a few shots onto that M8 and then retreat, but unfortunately even that was not able to, because that rifle squad was there to support it. And we can see the counter is now out. The AT gun out. The AT is out for our Wehrmacht player. Sickness needs to be really, really careful though, because if it does get flanked by this fast M8, it is pretty much dead, especially supported by that rifle squad. And there's a lot of open field here, so if he overextends it, if the M8 starts to move in right now, the AT gun's pretty much screwed and is not in camo. So it can go over here, see the AT gun, quickly juke around here. So it does go into camo, but the M8 will spot it, and now it is, as I said, screwed. Do we have any reinforcements coming in? We do have one squad coming in. It is the Panzer Grenadier squad, or excuse me, Grenadier squad coming out here, gonna fire away. However, will it shoot this M8? Will he manage to micro it into that squad? And yes, he does. Is he just gonna run through it, try to get scouting info? I'm not sure what he's gonna do. There's so many options right now for our American player Destroyer. He may just light a mine right here in front of the Craig barracks, which is a pretty common play. It instantly kills or damages that squad that pops out of the Craig barracks, and there's really nothing you can do unless you have the minesweeper upgrade, and then you can just take care of it. But no, he does not. And gonna see the fighting over here in the middle, and it looks like he's on a full-scale retreat. I'm not sure from what. And will we see another contain from Sickness? That'll be pretty unfortunate from our player for our player Destroyer. You see this one rifle squad trying to hold the line here. Dude does not want him to cap the strategic point. However, this MG really, if it just moves up into that building, it's going to be pretty problematic for him. And what's our Wehrmacht player going to do? What's our US player going to do? Both kind of steady, uneasy, trying to get the position on each other, seeing what they can do. Our Wehrmacht player, what's his name? Sickness is going to go for the plus 10 fuel. Looks like we do have a mortar out, a weapon support center for Destroyer. It seems these MGs were giving him so much trouble, so it has forced him to get a weapon support center to counter these MGs, and overall it will help him counter tier 2 play anyway, because it is such a heavy infantry fight, and we have the Campcraft Center going down. So we will see veterancy for our Wehrmacht players infantry very soon here. The M8 going to do a nice flank here. If he can, I'm not sure what he should target down here. I think he should target down the MG get rid of it. That'll allow his rifle squads to run over the rest of his squads here, or he can target fire this Grenadier squad and allow his M8 to go to town on everything here. But unfortunately, taking too many hits and needs to retreat. Wisely retreats and reinforce. Now the mortar is going to go to town, already up to 3 kills. Wisely retreating, and he does. The mortar paying for itself, winning the fight here in the middle. Now the US player can happily walk into the middle. Well, not happily, but it'll be a lot easier for him to push out into the middle and start reclaiming some more map control. The VPs are even. 414 to 413, gonna shoot away the squad over here on the right side, so a pretty even fight so far. I believe it's gonna be down to the wire unless one of these players makes a huge nasty mistake and loses like all their squads in a volley of fire or some weird grenade or sort of artillery. But we don't have any of that really right now. Looks like double veterancy now coming out for our Sickness player, Wehrmacht player, Sickness. And rifle squad's moving into the middle, realizing, oh, there's nothing out here. I'm going to quickly recap all this. Hopefully he can cap as much as possible. Needs to readjust this mortar squad in one of the green covers here and get a nice positional advantage over your opponent. Sickness, Wehrmacht player, now has 2 Shrek squads over here. May want to start getting tier 3. He's actually been spending a lot in the veterancy, so maybe eventually going to tier 3 and getting those LMG 42s. I'm surprised we haven't seen, gonna make sure, bars from Destroyer, just because they're so good against infantry and usually is the direct counter, not a direct counter, but a great counter towards tier 2. And oh, here we go. Now we have bars popping out for our US player. And we actually have a sniper over here. 0 kills yet, so he doesn't know there's a sniper out on the field. That's going to be, let's see, maybe problematic for our Wehrmacht player. But we will have to see. And popping Inspired Assault. If you don't know what that does, I actually don't know exactly what it does. Increases rate of fire and damage, but they are more susceptible to being hit here. And we have a little fight engagement here. May lose his rifle squad, very low on health, and now he knows the sniper is on the field, taking 1 shot. Sniper needs to get out of there, as the Grenadier squads are not happy about that, trying to run it down. Does retreat it, so now they're gonna call it off and try to take care of this rifle squad. Rifle squad, if it retreats wrongly, and no, it does not. I thought it was going to retreat the other way into those Grenadier squad. Would have been in big trouble and possibly losing that rifle squad, but it's not the case here. M8 needs to be careful, needs to get away from that Grenadier squad, and it does, hiding behind that hedgerow over here, going to the safety of that bar squad. And we have kind of a little bit of sandwiching here. Needs to bring some more squads out here. Engineer squads are kind of alone right now. One does have the flamethrower upgrade, so that will force the squads to kind of scoot back, but they really were just kiting them into the enemy, so unfortunately gonna have to retreat all those. Nice retreat there, not taking too much damage, and the M8 may try to go for a flank. However, there's the Grenadier squad once again supporting that MGs, both happily supporting each other. Will the mortar actually gonna go to town there? 3 kills right now. Is he gonna bombard it? Actually, yes, it is. Now loading that mortar. Let's see where it goes. However, it is unprotected at the moment. I don't see any squads coming out. Squads are now coming out all for that mortar, but will it be in time? Yes, there's a rifle squad guarding it. He does realize, hey, my mortar is kind of out in the open, and Grenadiers trying to move on to that, but they should be able to protect that. I don't know. He could throw down a grenade. Will he throw a grenade? Yes, he does. Seeing the opportunity. Will it kill it? No, only doing a little bit of damage. Does he take out the MG out here? No, he doesn't. So here, going back to the fight. Lots of killing. Inspired Assault is popped. The mortar's trying to go off here. I'm not sure who's going to win this fight here. Looks like one rifle squad coming, retreating. So down to the wire here. Oh, this engineer squad may be the winner. I'm not sure. Inspired Assault is here, and they take tons of massive damage there. Needs to retreat that squad. Will he lose it? And yes, he loses that engineer squad. Some Wehrmacht player coming out on top there. Inspired Assault definitely paying for it. So you saw how fast those squads went down. And the M8 would have been nice if the M8 was there to help out during the fight, but it was kind of late to the party. Not sure where it was. And I guess now really the M8, what he needs to do is deny any sort of capping or map control that the Wehrmacht player can capitalize from that last fight. Now the sniper going to town does have 2 kills. Just going on against that Volksgrenadier squad. Really going to check the teching once again. No real changes, both sticking to their play. Triple veterancy is really the only difference from our Wehrmacht player. And the sniper in a little bit of trouble, does have no camo, so let's get that speed upgrade. Trying to get away. I'm not sure if you can see those squads, but Now he does, because the fire is onto those snipers. The Spider Soul pops just because he wants to take out that sniper. Will he get it off? And doesn't look like he will. Taking a decent amount of health from it, but I don't think it's worth the Inspired Assault pop. That was a nice try by him, because it will continue to pay off against that rifle squad. And really, if he loses this fight and no reinforcements are coming from the US player, he will get the contain, cap the strategic point. However, he already is losing this plus 60 munitions anyway, because it is cut off from that strategic point over there. And our Wehrmacht player really capitalizing over our US player. US player still has quite a bit of squads. He's just been losing fights, but not losing too many squads. Maybe really the engineer squad's the only one I have seen. Wehrmacht player did lose a Pioneer squad way early into the game, but it doesn't really matter at this point right now. So actually we have battle or assault phase. I believe that is tier 4, battle phase being tier 3 from our Wehrmacht player, so we may see some tanks soon. However, you don't want to overdo your teching, as in really in any RTS games. If you spend too many resources into your teching your player, and your opponent is spending a lot into his army, then you will lose. So here we go, our sniper going down onto the MG. MG only has one more guy, and really the MG would have turned this fight around easily, but there's only one guy, and it probably will get taken out by that sniper, and yes it does. Inspired Assault once again being popped. Rifle squad goes into that building. It's a pretty good spot so far. Will we see a grenade going off? I'm not sure. Mortar squad, if it can get a nice juicy spot, specifically into this little blob here, it will take it out, but unfortunately retreats that mortar squad, and the rifle squad's going to have to get out there. Just too much firepower for that rifle squad. Grenade going off. Oh man, and actually the grenade, nice grenade placement right there. Will it die? Actually retreating towards those squads, and you can see he's trying to chase it down, There is one guy left in that squad, and he will get away. And the one rifle squad actually coming out here trying to spot for that sniper. Sniper is up to 5 kills. However, there's just too many squads here, all kind of gimped, but it's still a good amount of health. They do have triple veterancy and whatnot. One rifle squad trying to keep them there as long as possible. I believe it's for that motor. And actually the mortar is set up. I don't know if it's just kind of auto set up, and I don't see it firing. So no, unfortunately the mortar not doing too much there. 5 kills would have been great. We could see a nice little turnaround here for our US player, because he's been blobbing his squads a little bit too much. His mortar gets a nice sweet spot and maybe kill a squad or turn a fight around that would have easily been won by the Wehrmacht player. But we'll have to see what comes out of that, and you can see our Wehrmacht player is banking on resources right now. 600 manpower, actually getting a half track to reinforce on the field, so he can stay on the field as long as he wants. And yeah, he's gonna hold that map control a little bit longer, and even if he does lose the fight, then he can just load up and go around the map and prevent any sort of ninja capping like you see over here. The rifle squad trying to capitalize on something. Right now we have a 3 cap from our player Sickness, the Wehrmacht player, 403 to 236. I'm going to do a quick time synchronization. 22 minutes, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 23 minutes, and we have a little bit more fighting over here. You can see the destroyer trying to get around, peek around this hedgerow, get a nice little fight. These squads are very low on health. However, there is an MG, so you really need to use this MG very wisely. However, there's a sniper on the field, so you really can't charge the sniper, because he's going to lose squads, or he's going to lose that fight because the squads are so low on health, and you can see he knows that. Just retreats out of there. I don't need to fight this fight. I have most of the map control. 403 to 269. I'm in a pretty good position. I can afford this retreat. I don't need to stay on the field that much longer. And tier 4, do we have tier 4? Yes we do. We have Panzer Command actually building right now, almost done. And from our US player, not too much of a difference here. We still have the mortar pool out, so we can build AT guns. I really haven't seen a doctrine from our US player just yet. Probably still saving it, as a lot of players do, to directly counter the your opponent's doctrine, or what kind of play is he going. You know, if he goes tier 2 heavy play, you're not going to go airborne. No way you're going to go airborne. However, we do have the Oswin, so maybe we will. Or easily you can just go infantry, because his play has been very heavy in infantry right now with bars and whatnot. He can go... Oh, we actually have a Sherman. Did I miss? Oh, the Tech Depot is actually hiding behind the HQ, so I never really saw it. So Sherman coming out, however, I think it would have been wiser... well, he doesn't really expect tier 4, I would assume, from the from our Wehrmacht player, and he's actually building an Ostwind, so Sherman's going to happily counter that. Oswin's going to decimate infantry squads. Let's see how the micro fight goes for both of these players.